Good? Oh yeah. Oh, we got all that out the way. All right, so y'all get to see what happens behind the scenes. Okay. Woo! Okay. Welcome to another edition of the Real Social Proof Podcast, and we literally just like went through this joint for a good 5-10 minutes, but it wasn't recorded. So I need you to do the introduction with the same intensity. Okay. So we got Mr. Alix Good Energy here. How are you, my brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Good. My
man.
second time dapping him up. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. So I've heard about Alix, and I've seen Alix literally. I don't know if it's just Atlanta, but it seems like over the last few months, all of my friends have been taking pictures with you. Like, yo, I just got my truck. My man Jeremy Anderson, and I'm thinking he's like just motivational speaker. He like just straight speaker. My man got a truck.
No doubt.
What's his name? He's always at the ET events. He like runs the whole show. That's my guy too.
Oh, Steven Hollowell.
Steven got a truck. I'm like, yo, what am I doing? Do I need to get a truck?
Yeah, you probably do.
Okay, that's a sign. I need to get a truck. Yeah. So please, kind of share from the beginning. Your story of going from where you from to Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Share with us, please.
Yeah, man. Super long story short, man. First part of my life was in Brooklyn, New York. Moved down to Atlanta when I was 13. And funny story on how I got to Atlanta was my mom sent me down here on summer break. Just it was supposed to be for the summertime. And my aunt, after I realized dang, we not going home yet. It's August, school about to start, and they started enrolling me in school. So I'm supposed to be on vacation, but now I'm being enrolled in school. I didn't get to say bye to my friends or nothing. So I was a little hurt. But ironically,
what did your mom say to get? Did she say, yo, you just going to do a little vacation in Atlanta?
She was like, look, we just sending you down there for. I had been there a few times. Right. So it was just regular.
Right.
But I noticed that she packed a lot more clothes inside. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, whatever. So, man, I'm getting enrolled in school, man, and my mom tricked me and sent me down to Atlanta. She knew that she wanted a better life for me, and at first I was upset. I didn't speak to her for a couple months because of it. You know what I'm saying? I left all my friends in New York. I didn't even get to tell nobody bye. But ironically, that ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah. So real quick though, I can see why you'd be upset, but what was going on in New York that your mom felt, yo, I got to get this boy out of here?
Right. New York was rough, man, as you know. I was from the worst part of New York. I lived in Vanderveer Projects. If anybody want to look it up, I was in Vanderveer, you know what I'm saying? I was raised by a single mom. Never met my father a day in my life, you know what I mean? And I watched my mom work 2 jobs. Even a night shift, and come off the night shift and take me to school. She wouldn't even let me ride the school bus. That's how real it was up there. She got off the night shift and took me straight to school. I've never rode the school bus a day in my life. So she just wanted better for me. And my aunt and my uncle was living in Atlanta, and she seen the quality of life, and she was like, yeah, that's where I want him to be. She was a nurse. She worked for the hospital system, so she couldn't come immediately because she was working on her transfer. So she was like, yo, I'm going to send you down there, and I'm going to work on my transfer. And she got her transfer about 9 months later. And she came down and met me.
Wow. What does she say now, seeing all your success? And we'll get into that, but.
Yeah, before I tell you that, I got to tell you this. My mom was traditional. She wanted me to go to college. She wanted me to do the American dream, I guess. Go to college, get my degree, become a lawyer, a doctor, like a lot of people's parents, right? And, I tried to go to college. I went for 1 semester. I went to Gwinnett Tech. For 1 semester. I was studying business management. And man, I literally decided one day I'm not going to school. I dropped out. I dropped out. I didn't even get my money's worth. And it just wasn't for me. And I decided to go in the workforce, and I started working for this telemarketing spot. So I'm working for this telemarketing spot, and actually that's where I met Jason, Mr. 2 Weeks Out, my best friend now.
Which is
crazy.
I met
him. We was working at a telemarketing spot on straight commission. We wasn't even getting hourly. It was straight commission, and we had to literally sell this product called Z-Max, right? I probably still know the sales pitch. We would literally call random people on the phone and try to sell them this product that you pour into the gas tank to get more fuel mileage.
Right.
So, I ended up being the #1 seller in the company. I was there for 2 years, and just one day my boss decided to fire me. Walked up to my desk. He said I missed a phone call. He could hear all of our calls. He claimed that I missed a phone call, and that was his reasoning for firing me, right? So I'm making $1,000 a week at this point, and $1,000 a week was a lot of money back then, but I didn't know money management. So I was making good money, but I was spending it thinking that it was just coming next week.
Coming right back.
Right.
Yeah.
So here I am. I'm living in a 5-bedroom house. My cousin rented to me. And I just bought my first car, a little Lexus ES300. You know, I got big boy bills at this time, and now I don't have a job. So I'm down to my last $2,000, man. And I just never forget riding home on 400 South. I was so hurt that I just got fired, and I said it out loud. I said, look, I'm never working for nobody for the rest of my life.
Did you do anything entrepreneurial before then?
I've never done anything. Nope.
So what gives you the audacity to think I never worked for somebody if you don't even know what it's like to not work for somebody?
I'm gonna be real with you. It was kind of like a combination of my pride, man, like my ego. Like I didn't like the fact that another man had that much control over my destiny. Like word, like I got bills. Like you just fired me now.
Yeah.
Nah, that rubbed me the wrong way, man. That was my first time ever get fired. So I was like, I gotta figure something. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I'm gonna figure something out.
Right.
So long story short, I literally was just riding around one day in Gwinnett looking for something to eat, and there was this little spot called Carrabba's, a little Italian spot. That was my joint. And when I ain't been there in a few months, and when I went there, it was construction being done. I'm like, yo, what happened to Carrabba's? So I walk up in the spot, and I see this Asian guy, Korean guy named Mr. Moon. He comes out, he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, what's going on? Where's Carrabba's? Like, what do y'all do? And he was like, nah, we're about to build a nightclub. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, Gwinnett? I'm like, okay. He was like, yeah, we're looking for promoters. He said, are you a promoter? And I was like, yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, glad you asked.
Yeah, so he was like, yeah, we're looking for promoters, and we're looking for, you know, a night to give to promoters. So what night would you like to do? And I was like, I'll do Thursdays. He's like, okay, cool. So here I am. I left the club. I'll never forget. I called.
First off, why Mr. Moon think because you black you're a promoter? I don't like that.
He believed me.
me.
He believed me. I told him I was from New York as a promoter. So anyway, long story short, I left that spot and I called all my friends like, yo, I got a party coming up. I said, I got a party coming up. And look, I don't ask y'all for nothing, but I just need y'all to show up on this date to this address and bring $10 with you.
Yeah.
Right? Bring $10 with you and tell everybody you know. And then and I was like, if y'all don't come, just lose my number because I don't ask for nothing.
Yeah.
Right? $2,000 to my name, man. I used 500 of it to buy 10,000 flyers. I paid these little young boys like $50 a piece to pass them out for me. But I was like, I don't know where I got this from, but I was like, look, we gonna go hard. Like we gonna put the flyers in the neighborhoods. You know, we gonna do like the Chinese people and hit the doors in the neighborhoods. Like, you know, you go
the
home
Chinese
with the
menus, yeah.
We was in like.
They don't care how many you throw away either.
Because everybody normally just did like cars after the let outs of the club, they would just hit the cars. I was like, nah, we going to the barbershops, we going to the salons, we going to the neighborhoods, and we gonna go hard. So the theme was, it's the grand opening. It's the first party of this magnitude in Gwinnett County. First night, about 200 something people showed up. I made my investment plus a little bit more. You know, I was feeling good, man. I was feeling really, really good that I pulled it off. Everybody had a great time. But now the pressure came on like, wow, what do I do for next week?
It's no grand opening.
Yeah, the grand opening hype is over.
Yeah.
So this is when Buckhead was like cracking. This is when like all the clubs was on the strip in Buckhead where you couldn't even walk on the streets, right?
Yep.
So I'm down there that weekend just brainstorming, trying to get ideas from other clubs, and I'm at this spot called Club Chaos on Monday nights. I'm in there and I hear the DJ say, yo, Jagged Edge in the building. I'm like, okay, Jagged Edge, you know, I like their music. I'm like, yo, that's dope. So I ended up being in the VIP with Brian from Jagged Edge. And I went to holler at him. I said, look, bro, look, I got this spot in Gwinnett. I said, I know y'all big time.
Yeah, they had in this world at that point, right?
This is like when they was popping. And I was like, look, man, I got this party, and I would love for y'all to come out there. It's in Gwinnett. We've never had celebrities out there. I said, look, I don't got no budget to pay you, but I know that if I promote y'all, we can do good, and y'all can have half the door. And he's like, bro, like we normally get, you know what I'm saying, we normally charge.
Already.
He's like, look, you know, but I like how you came at me. He said, I can't guarantee the whole group will come out there, but me and my brother at least will come out there. Where's that again? I was like, yeah, it's on Pleasant Hill. He's like, I know, behind the Chick-fil-A. I was like, yeah. I was so hyped, David, that I left without even getting Brian's phone. I didn't even get his phone number, y'all. I remember on the high, I was on 85 North going home like, oh, I didn't get his phone number.
Oh,
right?
That hurts.
I was hurt, right? But David, the way that my man looked at me and said he was gonna come, I believed him. So now I took another 500, did 10,000 flyers.
Put his face on the flyer.
I put the whole group. I ain't gonna front. I put the whole group on the flyer. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't find no pictures of just them two.
Right.
And man, and these flyers are so dope, Dave. I put the fly. It was these black flies. It was sexy flies. They was huge. It wasn't the little small ones, right? Same thing. We hit the neighborhoods again. Hit the barbershops. Hit the salons. The same. Hit the mall. Jagged Edge is coming to Gwinnett. So man, the night came. Look, people was blowing my phone up, Dave. People was asking for VIP sections. We didn't even have sections at this club. I'm over here trying to like put together these little couches. You know what I'm saying? Like we just like making something happen, right? Dave, the night of the party came. I got to tell you the story because it's gonna come full circle with what's going on right now. The night of the party came, Dave, and I'm at the spot, and I just remember getting there at about 10 o'clock. And at 10 o'clock, the line was around the building, okay? We didn't even have enough security guards. I had probably like 5 security guards. Wow. And it's already like 200 people outside the building when I got there. I got a door girl. Jason was there too. Jason was there helping me out in the front with the line. He was so good at the line, yo. He was a beast.
So Jason was still working at the call center.
I think Jason was still there at the call center, but he was also helping me out at my party. So Jason was my VIP door. He handled the VIP.
Right.
Yo, 11 o'clock, people are still pouring in. By midnight, the whole club was already packed, and it was still a line around the building. So I'm walking by the register.
My heart is pounding like a movie. I'm trying to see like,
yo,
did
this
he
is
come?
real, like verbatim, right? So I'm walking past the register. Like, we had to like take the money out the register so that it was filled up.
Right.
So I'm like, wow. So then it went from excitement to like, damn, it's 12:30. I don't got his number, right? And now I'm outside in the line, and I'm hearing like little whispers like, man, Jagged Edge ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? They like, man, it's 12, they ain't coming to Gwinnett. I knew they wasn't gonna come to Gwinnett. So I'm hurt. I'm like, I don't know whether to just grab the money or
New York came out of you, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Take the boy out of New York. Can't take the New York.
So man, I would say about 1:15, man, I just started seeing these CLS Mercedes pull up. This is when the CLSs first came out. It was like 2 of them in a G-Wagon. I'm looking. It was like slow motion, man. The door opened. I seen Brian hop out. I seen his brother hop out. And yo, I can't describe that feeling of seeing them, y'all. They showed up, man. They showed up. I went, got them, walked in the building. And yo, Nightlife Link, the little party website, people was there. And bruh, we had a run for about 3.5 years, man. We had one of the biggest parties on Thursday nights for about 3.5 years, man. Yeah, it was a spot called Cafe La Vaca, and then it changed to Belushi's. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I had a
round of applause, please. That's goodness gracious.
Yeah. So that was like my first little taste of entrepreneurship, because once we got full scale, I had about 11 security guards working for me, 2 DJs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned how to be like an owner. I had a payroll. You know what I'm saying? So that was like my first little taste of running an operation. And from there, man, Alix, AG Entertainment, sent some people out to scout. We was making so much noise. He sent out his partners to come scout us out. And then I used to host my parties on a microphone. I was a dude that was getting the party hype.
Right.
And he sent some people out there. They was loving how I was rocking the party. And they was like, hey, you think you could come to Compound and get on the mic with us?
He was rocking Compound too.
Bro, I rocked Compound for 2 years. I did Velvet Room on Sunday nights when it was at its peak. I was the dude on the mic. Keep in mind, I'm not on the radio. Like, I was the only person that was not on radio hosting parties of that magnitude.
That's crazy. Yo, first off, I just want to ask y'all, if you'd have left Brian and you didn't have his number, who would have had the audacity to put a flyer together and promote it as if they was coming? I don't know if I would have. Yeah. I don't know. You feel me? That's a whole nother level of.
Yeah.
He said he was coming. I guess that's the fallback, right? Yo, he said he was coming. I don't know what happened. He said he was coming. That's crazy because there's no Instagram. He might. Did you tell him the address? Like.
You saw his face.
Yeah.
From the energy, he felt like he was sincere.
But at the same time, this is Atlanta where people say anything.
That's true.
You wouldn't do that now.
Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Right.
And he probably came to the club maybe 13 times after that. Wow. Like, just without promoting him, he just loved that party. So it was a blessing, gracious. Man.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so you start rocking these parties.
So now I'm hosting Alix.
What year is this?
This had to be at least, this is 2007. 2008, around that time.
Yo, here's the crazy thing, because I was in the club heavy, really? So I probably saw you. Because so me and DJ Infamous moved
I used
over
to rock
here.
with Infamous.
Yeah, so
I used to be on the mic. Infamous was the DJ at Compound, and the same thing at Velvet Room. I used to host, and he
Bruh,
was the DJ.
I was in the
Yeah.
club every day that he
Yeah.
was there. So I was like, I know I saw you. That's
Absolutely.
crazy.
I used to go
That's
by
amazing.
Sincere. That was my party name, Sincere. And the reason I didn't go by Alex is it was already Alex in the
It was
city.
already AG,
So
yeah.
Sincere was like my nickname, party name.
Yeah, that's a New York name. Don't nobody come up with that one. New York name. Sincere.
Yeah, man.
Right around belly time. Okay, so rocking parties, right? So how do we like transition to this mogul truck empire you got going on?
Dave, I'm gonna have to get deep on you real quick because I can't avoid this part of my story before I
Please.
get to the trucking.
That's a good story, right? Like, goodness gracious.
Yo, so I'm at the peak of my promoting career. I'm hosting the hottest parties in Atlanta. My name's on the radio. Life is good, right? I was hosting this party called Pure Atlanta on Thursday nights. And I met this young lady in the VIP. You know, you're a promoter, you know the lifestyle, man.
We meet a lot of young
I'm gonna be
ladies
all
in
the way
the VIP,
transparent
right?
with y'all. And the regular night, you know, I'm in the VIP pouring up a little champagne for her, got a number. Pretty light-skinned girl, long hair. I'm like, yo, what you doing next week? Let's go to have a drink or something. She was like, cool. This is when I had a spot in Atlantic Station. This is when Atlantic Station first was,
And
you
he
know
was
how
in
hot
Atlantic
it was.
Station?
Yeah, I was in a
Did
little
you dress like
townhouse.
this too
Nah,
back then?
no,
Okay, I was about to
wasn't.
say, because you was killing him out
Nah.
here. Killing him.
Yo, Dave, I wasn't gonna tell this story. So I told her let's link up next Tuesday. This is a Thursday. I told her let's link up next Tuesday. I said the plan was she's supposed to drive to my house, park her car, hop in my car, and go to the little lounge with me. The night comes, she is trying to meet me at a restaurant called Silver Skillet on 14th Street. She was gonna park her car there. I was like, look, if you park your car there, you're probably gonna get towed. My spot is right on 16th Street. Just follow me, park your car in my driveway, and we're gonna go to the spot together. So she's like, cool. So she follows me to my townhouse. I pull up and I pull past my driveway to make so that she can pull behind me and pull in. Instead of her pulling in, she just stays behind me in front of my driveway. So I'm like putting my hand out the window like, yo, go ahead and park. She just stays there. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So I get out my car and I walk behind me to see what's going on. As I walk to her car, another car pulls in the street from behind her and starts pulling up towards us. Then the car comes and cuts off me from my car. Two guys hop out. Yeah, two guys hop out. The young dude hops out the passenger side and starts walking towards me. He's like, what the F you doing with my girl, dog? Before I could even process what was going on, he Floyd Mayweathered me. He punched me right in my face. This is the first time I ever even got hit in my life. Like I never brought that type of energy towards me. So I was more shocked. It didn't even hurt. He got me real good right here though.
Right.
I ain't dropped or nothing. I was just shocked. So I'm like, okay, all right, I got to fight now. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then the driver hops out, big dude, and I see the gun in his hand. I said, at this point, I got a decision to make. Do I fight and possibly get shot? Do I run? I just decided to fall, take my butt whipping like a man, and just hope the guy, he don't shoot me. These two dudes stopped me out for it felt like about 15 minutes, right? They stopped me out, and I literally had to stop moving and pretend like I was dead for these dudes to stop stomping me out. I'm like just covering my face on the ground. Once they finally left, she got in her car, left, they got in their car, left. I get up, my phone was gone. My car was still open though. They didn't take no money from me. I had a 745 at the time. They didn't touch the car. It was her boyfriend. So I literally hopped in my car. My plan was to go to a friend's house in case they came back. I just wanted to get out of there. So I get in the car and I'm driving, and I noticed that my seat is real wet. And then I noticed it start getting hard. It's hard to breathe. And I'm literally about to make the left on West P Street to get on 85, but then I was like, nah, something ain't right. Like every time I inhale, it's like a sharp pain right here. So I was like, nah, this ain't good. So I literally made a U-turn on West Peachtree Street. You know, West Peachtree is a one-way street. I'm literally riding, it's 2 in the morning, I'm literally riding up West Peachtree Street the wrong way looking for a hospital. And I start getting weak, I start feeling like I'm about to faint. And all I could keep thinking was like, just get to the hospital, don't faint in the car. And by the grace of God, I seen that H sign. It was Emory, right there on Peachtree, right across the street from where the old Gladys Snakes used to be at. I got to the hospital, walked in. The lady at the register was like, "Can I help you right now? It's blood coming out my face and everything." I'm like, "Look, ma'am, I'm hurt. Like I'm bleeding in my back. I need to see a doctor." She's like, "Hey, fill out the paperwork. Sit down. We'll get to you."
Savage. Golly.
Right.
Fill out
Keep in mind, I'm
paperwork.
feeling like I'm about to faint. I'm like, "No, ma'am, you don't understand. I need to go see somebody like right now." So she says, "Fill out the paperwork. We'll get to you." So I'm literally filling out the paperwork, and I never forget, y'all. Like I'm bleeding from my face, and as I'm filling out the paperwork, the blood is like filling up the whole paper. So I bring the bloody paper to the lady, and I'm like, "Here you go." And that's when she was like, "Oh shit, let me go ahead and send this dude in the back." Y'all, I get to the back. Doctor pulls off my shirt, and he's like examining me to see what's going on with me. And he was like, "Sir, do you realize you've been stabbed 1, 2, 3 times in the back?" Yeah.
What?
They stabbed me 3 times in the back. I didn't even know this. I barely knew her name. Like, I'm just, trying to have a good time. Like, yo, just let's go to have a drink. Yup. Stabbed me 3 times in the back, man. And so, I had to recover. It took me about 5 months to kind of get back. Thank God it wasn't nothing serious. They punctured my lung. I had to get a chest tube. But it wasn't nothing too serious to where I wasn't able to recover after about 4 or 5 months. But, bruh, like, I tried to go back in the clubs, and I lost the passion for it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like being exposed to that type of life was worth my life. And it was at that moment that I decided that I was not going to be messing with the parties no more, Yeah.
Golly. Am I good on time on that? Okay. So, what do we do now? Are you better at managing your money at this point? Or are you still out here? Well, you had the 745.
Right. Not really.
Not really?
Not
Okay,
yet.
didn't learn yet. Okay.
Not yet, man. So, long story short, brother, I moved to Miami. I needed to get out of Atlanta. I needed to get out of this energy.
Really?
Yeah, I moved to Miami in 2010. 2009, 2010. I moved to Miami. And, did have a couple dollars saved up. Obviously, you got to have a couple dollars to go to Miami. And I had a good time. I went out there. And
Did you
had
do
a ball.
promoting or you
Nah.
was just...
I literally was living off my savings account. I'm going to just be all the way real with you.
Really?
I was living off my savings account in Miami. Yeah, living above my means. I was living in a high rise overlooking the water, the whole 9.
Hey.
Yeah, I lived my best life. This is when LeBron was down there. This is when Cash Money, Young Money was popping. This is when Live on Sunday. Like I just went
Drake
down
really
there.
just like started to get... Oh.
Exactly. This is that time. It was a great time in Miami at this point. And bro, I went broke. I went broke. Let me be real, I went broke.
Yeah.
Year 3, 2012, I was down to like my last $5 grand, man. And I came back home. I hit mom up like, yo, I just need like 4 or 5 months. I need 4 or 5 months, ma. Let me come home. Let me just figure this out. I just need to get away from these bills and just have a clear head real quick. And man, I worked on my credit while I was at my mom's house. I did some research, and I knew I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and I wanted to do something that was going to last this time. I didn't want to do something just because it was cool. So, man, after I worked on my credit, I went and got me a little line of credit. Me and one of my friends hooked up and came up with this idea that we was going to get a line of credit and then go open up a restaurant.
What is Jason doing at this time?
Jason is actually delivering washers and dryers at this
Really?
time.
So it's crazy. So for those that don't know Jason, so Jason's also running a 7-figure business now too. That's why the story is just so ill. Y'all were
Absolutely.
selling fuel juice or whatever that was.
Yeah, Z-Max.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Absolutely. So Jason's delivering washers and dryers at this point. I'm living with my mother. I didn't got off of Twitter. I didn't got off of social media. I'm like, man, can't nobody know what's going on right now. I'm living with moms right now. And man, me and my partner at the time, D, we decided we was gonna get a line of credit and we was gonna go open up a restaurant or a barbershop, either or. So once we got the money, it was like 20 grand. We went around looking at restaurants. Every time we would find a spot, something would just fall through and it just won't go through.
Right.
Then we was gonna do a barbershop. It just would not come together. But during that time, I just kept running into people that were in trucking.
Just randomly like.
Yeah, like whether it was truck drivers, but then I ran into this particular dude. I'm not gonna say his name, but I ran into this guy who was doing real well for himself. And I'm like, yo, what you got going on, brother? And he was like, yeah, I got these box trucks. I got this contract with the post office, and I'm eating. I'm like, word? I was like, damn, trucks? I ain't know nothing about trucks. So I'm like, all right, well, shoot, I'm from New York. Like, y'all know I'm a hustler. Like, I adapt to whatever. So I'm like, do I need to get a truck? Like, what's up? He was like, yeah, get you a truck. I'll put you on. So I went, y'all, within 30 days, I used my money, and we went and got us a box truck.
How much did you start with?
That box truck was only like $8,000. It was like a little.
So you didn't touch the 20,000 line of credit.
It was out of that. It was.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. So man, I called my guy up. I'm like, yo, I got the truck. What's good? He was like, yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna make a couple calls, and I'll put you on. Just give me a second. A couple weeks go by, I don't hear nothing from him. You know, truck note around the corner, insurance around the corner. You know what I'm saying? And I call him back. Yo, my man, he just stopped answering his phone. Yeah, he just stopped answering his phone, y'all. So here I am with this truck with no direction. So at that point, I got an option. I can either sink or swim.
Yeah.
I decided to swim. So I'm online. I'm on Google, how to run a trucking company. I'm on YouTube watching as much videos as possible, how to run a trucking company. And I did it. Like, it was working. Like, I was booking my loads. I found me a little driver.
But you weren't driving yourself, ever?
Nah, I never drove it.
So you never thought, I need to jump in here, get my CDL and drive so I can make some money?
No, I did because for one, I'm a good driver, but I'm not good at driving long distances.
Right.
I'm not good at that. Like me, Atlanta to Charlotte is my max, period.
Right.
And I need to get out the seat. So I knew that wasn't for me. But the good thing about box trucks is that you didn't have to have a CDL for that. So you can hire anybody. So we found some little driver, put them in there. I'm booking the loads. I'm on this. We have a database in trucking where we can actually go online and find loads for our trucks, right? We can negotiate the rates, and we can actually eat what we kill, right? So, I did sales. Like, I'm good with the phones.
Yeah.
So that was like second nature for me. So I'm on there booking my load. So guess what, though? I don't really got that much money. So whenever these brokers and these shippers are telling me, look, I'll pay you $1,000 for this load, all I hear is $1,000. I'll take it. But I didn't understand like what my truck was really worth and what was I supposed to be charging.
Right.
So I was taking whatever they was paying us. We might as well have been called Crackhead Express. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all the loads for the low.
Yeah, like if you pay, we taking it. You
Loads
know
for
what
the
I'm saying?
low. That's the name of my truck company, Loads for the Low.
Right.
Watch that.
Yo, so man, I'm thinking I'm making some money. Like, as we getting these deposits, I'm like, oh, we good. But then once these bills start getting due, you know what I'm saying? By the time I'm paying fuel, by the time I'm paying my driver, I'm looking at these spreadsheets. These spreadsheets looking real suspect, man. You know what I'm saying? They looking real suspect. And I'm realizing, like, damn, I ain't making no money for real. And within 11 months, bro, we was out of business.
Wow.
It was out of business. We was upside down, man. I ended up having to get the trucks back, man. Yeah, we out of business.
Show your credit.
Thank God we did it on the business, so it wasn't on my personal.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, man. So at this point, I'm like, damn, like, but I had seen enough to where it was like, okay, I'm not gonna give up. I just did something wrong, right? Like, I seen enough potential in it to where I was like,
Dang, that's a bar. Is that not? He said, yo, I'm not going to give up. I just did something wrong. But a lot of entrepreneurs, they think, oh, the business doesn't work. He just said, yo, I did something wrong. Proceed. This is good.
yeah.
This is good.
I seen the potential, but I knew I did something wrong. So I was like, okay, let me take some time off and let me do some research and identify what I did wrong and see if I can give this thing another shot. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a little spoiled with the little success that I've seen. I'm like, nah, I just got to tweak some things. So I literally, Dave, I took I would say about 8-9 months straight research. And I like to call this year the year of the sacrifice. This is the end of 2013. This is when I went cold turkey on everything. I stopped going out. I stopped dating. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped getting haircuts. I stopped going outside. I literally only went outside to walk my dog. I was locked in. I was like, nah, I got to figure this out. So after I gained my confidence back, after I identified what I did wrong, I gave it another shot, but this time I did it with the 18-wheeler. So here we go.
So, oh, man. So you got the box truck.
Lost.
You fail at that.
Yeah, lost bad.
And then you come back, and it's not like you start where you, like, maybe something's wrong with my entrepreneurship. Because I'd have probably started with another box truck. Let me start low, but you went 18-wheeler.
Yeah, you know why? Because the box trucks didn't have that much loads available to them. Every time I was on that load board, I would see loads for 53-foot trucks, which is the 18-wheelers. I would keep saying, like, damn, they paying some good money for that 18-wheeler. But I got the little 26-foot boy. So I can't fit, a full truckload is what they call it. I was called LTL, it wasn't the full load. So long story short, man, I've been getting teased for that whole first year with seeing them big boys get that big money. So I was like, nah, when I get back, I'm getting me an 18-wheeler. You know what I'm saying? Man, got my first 18-wheeler, Dave, and it was like night and day, man. It was like night and day. Like, just to be able to get on that load board and be able to pick whatever load I want now, because I got the big boy joint. You know what I'm saying? And, I grinded it out. I focused on money management. Now I know how to manage my money. Now I realize, okay, when I make the profits, instead of blowing it, let's go ahead and reinvest into the business. Let's save it for a rainy day, if a truck breakdown. Let me make sure that I got enough money to handle whatever is thrown at me with this business, because it's a big boy business. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing to play with. These are 80,000-pound machines, heavy machinery. So if you want to get into this business, you got to make sure that you got a cushion. And I realized that from my research. So that first 10,000 I made off that first 18-wheeler, we putting that up. That's the emergency money right there. You feel me?
Yeah.
So now, anytime my truck broke down,
You got the emergency. Yeah.
and my thing was minimal downtime. I don't care what it costs. It's 4,000. Let's get it paid and get back up and running, because I know I'll be able to make it right back.
Right.
My first truck paid for my second truck.
How soon before you got into that second truck?
About a year.
About a year.
About a year. Mm-hmm.
Could you have done it sooner?
Probably.
Do you teach people to do it sooner?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got some of my clients starting that too. We're going to get into that. They start
Oh,
off
for
at
sure.
two.
We gonna get into that. I'm getting into Janae. Let's get this truck on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, just I figured it out. Like, it was finally working. It was finally working, and I'm up to 3 trucks now. And the money that comes from 3 trucks was like way different than one. Because I realized that 1 truck pays for the other 2 trucks. So at this point, it's just a volume game for me. You know what I'm saying? And the market was really good. So I'm just like, I'm killing it. I'm killing it at this point. We have a factoring company where we don't got to wait to get paid. So we pick up a load on Monday, we deliver on Tuesday, we get paid on Tuesday. So now my business starts paying for itself now. So now I ain't got to go back on my personal money. So, even people who are just getting started, if you get started in a trucking company, you get rolling within the first 2 weeks, you're ready to make all the money from 5, 6, 7 loads. So God forbid if you blow a flat tire, guess what? You already got money in house from the first few loads. So now you can pay for that flat tire. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I love about the industry. So once I got my cash flow right, man, it was crazy since then, man. So now we have a fleet of 11 trucks now.
So you have 11 trucks. That's a round of applause. 11 trucks right there. So you have 11 trucks, but I believe your formula for getting 11 trucks works because you got a bunch of students that got trucks, right?
Absolutely.
So how many students in the last? Because you haven't always been like just teaching people how to do it.
I'll tell you about that. 2015, once I really started like seeing some really good profits, and I was really confident with my process, and I was automated at this point. I was like, yo, you know what? If only I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have lost that 20 grand that first year in business. I wouldn't have lost all that time. I wouldn't have went out of business. So I was like, man, like I need to show, and it wasn't nobody out there showing the trucking game. Like there's real estate classes everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Seminars for all this stuff, but I could not find somebody that was teaching transportation. In the transportation industry, we're talking about a $700 billion industry a year. Somebody's getting paid, right? So I'm like, oh nah, like I'm gonna start showing people how to do it the right way the first time. So 2015, man, I started just helping out friends first. And I would literally just start putting on my Instagram, yo, I just put my boy James in business. He just got him a truck, he doing this thing. Then I would get a couple DMs. Yo, you think you can show me how to do that?
Right.
So here we are, 1, 2, 3 clients that I'm putting in business, and now we up to 20 clients, and it starts getting bigger than me. Last March, this is 3 years of me doing one-on-one consultations. Last March, I had a waiting list till Christmas for my service.
Dang.
Yeah, we had a waiting list. I started off, I was charging $1,500 in 2015 to show people what I do for my time. And by last March, I was up to about $10,000 a client. Yeah. And it was a waiting list.
And there's a waiting list of people trying to pay you 10
Till
grand.
Christmas, yeah. From last March, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so it got bigger than me by the grace of God. You know, just the results, the testimonials, and it got to the point where my clients were promoting my business for me. I had 790 followers this time last year, David. I'm gonna be real with you.
790 followers. Yeah, because I've seen it. Because I remember you didn't have that many followers. And then I looked today, and it was how many?
I'll probably be at 10,000 by the end of the week.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been able to see it grow. And so the collab, and trust me, I'm going to ask the questions on how we can get into it. Okay, trust me. I'm going to ask the questions that we're all wanting to know. But you started working with ET. Right,
wow,
with CJ and him. How'd that work out?
Just like everybody else, I have been watching, Eric Thomas on the videos. You know, when I went out of business, I would watch his videos to kind of get me out that depression that I was in. And man, I seen he was doing a cruise last March, and it was $5,000. And I was like, okay, I made a couple dollars. I could make this investment. Like I told, I was like, let's go on this cruise. You know. Went on a cruise, man, and I just went to get some motivation. I didn't go there to take no pictures and all that. I just wanted to get some motivation. You know, so I was doing good at this point. And we went to St. Martin, St. Thomas, and Bahamas. In St. Martin, the ship docked, and we were out on the little restaurant outside the dock. And CJ and his wife sits at the table next to us. I didn't know CJ.
Shouts out to Candace.
And then Jamal and his wife sat next to them, and then Josh and his wife sat next to them. Keep in mind, I didn't really know who they were. I seen CJ on the mic earlier, but I didn't really know the positioning.
CJ's that guy.
Yeah. So we just have a small talk. I'm not really one of those people that are, yo, this is what I do. I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not, they call him clout chase. I don't know. I don't be on that. But we just had an organic conversation. Like, what do you do, Alex? I'm like, yo, I got my little trucking company, and I help people. I help people get into my industry. And CJ just he loved what I told him. He loved what I did. And he was like, look, I want to invite you to something in Atlanta called Masters of the Game. I didn't know what it was. He was like, yo, just show up here in 2 weeks. There's a little house in Atlanta. We'll talk when you get there. I show up to this mansion. They got the gate in the front. We pulling up the long driveway. I walk up in there, and it's like 20 guys in there. CJ, Josh, Jamal, and then ET comes walking in. And then we go downstairs, and they're like, look, this group right here, we've handpicked you guys all over the country, and we feel like you guys have mastered your industry, and we've created this group so we can help you guys take it to the next level. Everybody in here does something different, and you guys are gonna network, and iron sharpens iron. So we in this real intimate setting. ET's there talking. Everybody has to stand up and tell their story. I stood up, told my story, some of what you guys already heard, and I never forget it. After I told my story, everybody was just like going crazy. And as I was walking to the bathroom, ET grabbed me and like shoved me into this room. And he was like, yo, bro, like, yo, your story is powerful, man. And you do a real good job at telling it.
Right.
And CJ was like, look, in order for you to take it to the next level, you got to put this consultation online. He was like, look, you're doing your thing, but you're only one person. You got to duplicate yourself. You got people all over the country trying to holler at you, but you turning down and you losing out because you're only one person. You taking on too much. And I was like, online, like, I don't know about that. Like, I do one-on-ones. Like, I go to the dealership with my clients, right? I help them find the drivers. I bring the mechanics, the whole nine. And he's like, nah, you got to put it online. So he said, look, get all your content on paper. We go send the camera crew. We're going to shoot the videos, create the PDFs to go with the videos, and we're going to put it on and just put it out. Within 4 months, I locked in me and Batiste. And we locked in, bro, and I hit CJ up in about 4 months. I was like, look, it's done. He was like, damn, it's done already? I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, Alex, so many people try to get into business with us, and we tell them what to do, but they never follow through. They never execute. They was like, yo, shout out to you for executing. He was like, and once he seen the content, he was like, yo, this is fire. He was like, so not only are we going to help you put it out, but we're going to put you on our platform. So
how much is that program?
So my portal's on Breathe University, which is their online training portal. And it's just ironic, the person that I've been looking up to this whole time I'm now in business with them now.
Yeah, it's
just
crazy.
amazing. You know what I'm saying? The portal was CJ was like, look, let's price it at $2,000. Let's make it affordable. You know, if you're charging $10,000 for your one-on-ones, obviously it doesn't require as much time from you.
Right.
Let's do it for $2,000.
Gotcha.
So we have a $2,000 package that gives you 90 days access to all the content to show you how to get into the trucking industry from A to Z. Okay, and then we also have a monthly mastermind membership that allows you to stay locked in with us, but also we do weekly calls every Tuesday at 8 p.m. We lock in on Zoom, video chat, and we discuss different topics every week in trucking. So the first 30 minutes is us talking about a certain topic, and then the other half is a Q&A session. And I have experts from the industry coming on as well. We've done 20 weeks now, so we have 20 hours worth of content now on top of the information that was already in the portal.
Right,
so it's like a family now, like, and people are up and running. We dropped it October 5th is when we dropped this online digital training portal. And honestly, I just dropped it as a soft launch. I just wanted to kind of get some feedback. I wanted to be able to fix any kinks that came about. You know, I wanted to listen for feedback. If somebody was like, hey, I don't see this in the portal, we can go ahead and just add it in there.
Right.
So I literally was just looking for about 50 people. Here we are 6 months, and I think we've done almost 250 members.
Dang. Something's working. Yeah. Something's working. All right, so we got to get into it because there's a bunch of entrepreneurs out here. Because Errol got a couple dollars, you know what I'm saying? You get a couple dollars, I get a couple dollars, we put a couple dollars together, right? So how much does it cost to get into a truck? Like to get into a truck and get it rolling?
Got you. It's two different ways that you can come into the industry. You can come in as a cash buyer, or you can come in on a finance route, right? I tell people all the time, if you're coming in on a finance route as an investor, the best way to get into it is having your own relationship with a credit union, okay? Credit unions right now are probably the most ideal way to get in as far as financing goes. Why? Interest rates are a lot lower, and a lot of times, some of them will even cover 100% of your truck, right? I'm gonna tell it, and if he doesn't want it out there, we can edit it later.
Okay.
But Jeremy Anderson, for example, he's probably has the best deal I've seen so far.
Really?
Jeremy went through his credit union and got them to finance his truck and his trailer with no money down, and his truck note is like, and his note is like under like $1,300 a month for
Really?
his truck and his trailer. Had an awesome interest rate, no money down, and he has a truck and a
All
trailer.
right, we'll call
ready to
Jeremy
go.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to just call him, see what's going on.
Right.
So
outside of that, though.
yeah, what's the typical situation?
Yeah, outside of that, there's other costs associated as far as like your down payment for your insurance, tags, all the miscellaneous expenses that you can't get around that you have to pay for to get into the industry is going to run you anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000. Okay, so best case scenario, you can probably get into this game for about $7,000 to $10,000 if you don't have to put money down. If you do have to put money down, which is if your credit isn't the best credit and you don't have a relationship with a credit union, you can definitely go through the dealership financing. Similar to like when you go buy a car, you know, you can get your own financing through your bank, or you can go to the car and use their banks. Coming in as an investor, you're going to be putting down at least about 30%. If you have a CDL, you consider
30%
of what the truck costs.
the truck is. So how much is a truck typically?
The trucks that we recommend you getting is going to range anywhere from $45,000 to $60,000. So just know you're going to put down about $10,000.
8. Okay, so that'd be about 18,000.
Correct.
If it's 30% of 60.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
And so that'll take care of you.
But that's if you have bad credit though.
No, that's if you have decent credit, or if you don't have a relationship with a bank that you can get financing from.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So y'all got that. So about 18,000, 10,000. So you need about 30,000 cash to get in.
Absolutely.
Give you a clean 2, right?
Yeah.
So okay. So
and the portal is a tax write-off, by the way.
Say it again.
The portal is a tax write-off.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So how soon do people typically get their money back? And there's no typical, right?
Absolutely.
Because
everybody's
some
situation
people,
is different. Everybody's situation is different. The best case
I
scenario.
mean, best case and worst case.
Best case, 10 months, 10 months to a year. Worst case, 2.5, 3 years. Worst case.
To get your money back.
Yeah, worst case.
So how do you create the best case scenario? What is the habits that people have that, I get in and I make my money?
Learning how to negotiate. which is what the portal trains you on, knowing not to take cheap freight, having a good driver. The portal is going to train you on how to attract drivers, the hiring process, but most importantly, how to keep good drivers. Okay, that's what's going to make the difference of you. That's the difference between the super successful trucking companies versus the ones that just get by, is that driver. Because obviously we can have the best truck in the world, right? We can have a 2019 truck. We can have a contract with, Coca-Cola. But if we don't have a driver that's going to get in there and grind, it's going to make a difference. So I see the difference with companies who have good drivers or a good driver versus the ones who have just a dude who's trying to get home every other day, who ain't really hustling like that. So that driver is definitely like that pivotal point of what separates the super successful from the ones that just kind of make it.
So what's a typical load? I mean, what's the average load that you could take?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, so I get a truck and let's say JT's driving, right? So JT owns the truck. He gets me to drive, okay? And how much is the load? How much are typical loads that he's telling me to take?
We try to stay above $2 a mile. I tell people all the time, as long as you stay above $2 a mile, you'll be able to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Anything above $2 is gravy. I've gotten loads that paid $3, $4, $5 a mile during peak season. We got different seasons in trucking.
So let's say $3 a mile. What's an average run like?
What I like to do is loads that pick up on a Monday and deliver on a Tuesday. The quicker we get that load off that truck, the quicker we can get some more money on there.
Right.
So a good load for me is about 500 miles, 550 miles.
Okay.
That way we can get loaded early Monday morning, get to that destination by that night, shut down, reload in the morning. Because see, drivers have a certain law of how many hours they're able to drive, right? Department of Transportation requires you to only be able to drive 11 hours. That's how long a truck driver can legally drive. But he's allowed to be on the clock for 14 hours, meaning on duty. So those extra 3 hours outside of that 11 hours can be used for getting loaded, getting unloaded, getting gas, etc., right? So the goal is to maximize that 11 hours drive time. To get to that destination, they have to go to sleep for 10 hours. It has to be documented. Once they shut down, they need to be able to wake up in that morning, deliver that load, get reloaded. Do the same thing again on Wednesday.
Oh, so every time you take a load from Atlanta, you go to, let's say, Charlotte, Virginia.
Yeah.
They drop that load off, and they always pick up another load to bring back to Atlanta?
It's connected. They don't have to come back to Atlanta. That's the thing. We try to find drivers that are flexible and can stay on the road for at least a couple weeks. So it's literally connecting the dots. So we can go to Virginia, and then my dispatchers are trained to find the best paying load out of Virginia going to, for example, Tennessee, right? But we're also not just booking loads just off the dollar amounts. We're looking at, okay, if we go to Tennessee, what's the market in Tennessee? Because we want to make sure that we're thinking long run as well too. It's just not about today. It's about, okay, once I get to Tennessee, how's the market in Tennessee? So we're able to actually go and see the whole country and see where the freight is hot and where the freight is cold. This is what I train on the portal as well, to show you how to read the market. It's not just about booking loads. It's about knowing how to position your trucks. Different times of the year, the freight changes. Right now, the South is on fire right now. Atlanta, believe it or not, is the #1 market in the country right now, today, as far as loads. Right now, I looked this morning, there was 7,200 loads in Atlanta yesterday, and there were only 1,316 trucks.
Dang, so we can get money right. Aaron, you got 10? I got 10. You got 10, Jay? I got 10.
So I'm going to say it again. It was 7,200 loads in Atlanta yesterday and 1,300 trucks. What does that tell y'all?
Market's wide open.
Supply and demand. The more loads that there is, the less trucks that there are. That means that they have to pay us more money. Why? Because there's 6,000 loads that's not going to get off their dock tomorrow. The ones that are going to move are the ones that what?
Yo, you know what? Here's the thing, though. And it seems like you can get that money back a lot faster than 10 months, though.
I'm going to be real with you, Dave. I like to underpromise and overachieve.
He told us 10 months because we're going to get the money back, and then be like, yo, okay, all right. I like what's going on.
Because if I tell you 10 months and you get it back in 6, you ain't gonna be mad at me, right?
Right.
Everybody's gonna be happy.
I like this guy.
Yeah, underpromise. And that's with any business, y'all. Underpromise and overachieve. If I know, like, for example, the next big question everybody wants to know after they understand how much it costs to get into the industry, they want to know, okay, how much can I make back a month per truck, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna be real with y'all. Right now, in the last 3 years, my trucks have averaged take home about $10,000 a month
Each truck.
each truck,
Gotcha.
right?
Times 11. Carry that
Right?
one over there. That's
Yeah.
100,000.
I'm gonna be real with you. That's how it's been. I mean, last year was probably the best year in trucking I've ever seen. I mean, you know, especially in the year before that, like, you know, I don't like tragedies, but when there's like hurricanes and Hurricane Harveys and
You into that?
oh my God, it's ridiculous, right?
Oh, and they gotta pay. They gotta pay.
Right. So I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like for me, we've been averaging about $8,000 to $10,000 take home per truck.
Take home.
Take home after expenses. But guess what? When people ask me how much do I expect to take home, I'm just gonna tell y'all 5-6. I'm gonna tell y'all 5-6,000. But guess what? Even at 5-6,000, I don't know. You know, I live a pretty decent lifestyle, but that definitely makes a big chunk in my overhead, my personal overhead.
You bring home 8 to 10,000
Correct.
times 11.
But I'm gonna tell you guys, listen. But I'm gonna tell y'all.
They counting your pockets tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all 5. I'm gonna tell y'all 5. There's no reason that if you have a truck that is not breaking down, if you have a good driver, and you know how to negotiate, and you're running a full 4 weeks, there's no reason why you should be able to take home 5-6 grand at the end of the month. There's no reason. So if you guys do more than 5-6 grand, y'all are happy with me. So that's what I'm telling y'all. 5-6,000 a month, and everything else is just the sprinkles on the cone.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Whew. So we're gonna take 2 questions. We're gonna take 2 questions from our live studio audience. We got Tonda. What you got?
Okay, I came in a little late to get into this, but as far as trying to find drivers and when it comes to a woman operating that, I've heard stories about that. So is there any difference that you've seen with a woman trying to operate that and get drivers and have them kind of take advantage of her or manipulate her or whatever it is?
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. My portal is made up of about 30% women. And if anybody follows me on Instagram, you'll see like the people, like I post my clients, I post people when they get up and running. Women are literally taking over this industry. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, they damn near doing it better than the men. You know, I feel like women in general are just more thorough creatures. You know what I'm saying? Like, like seriously. Seriously.
And
so,
you teach self-defense. You good money. Okay. Oh, you good. You good. Right.
Right. So to answer your question, absolutely not. I don't think that women have a disadvantage in this industry at all. You know, I got female drivers as well. You know what I mean? I got female drivers that's out here killing it. You know, Cheryl, Gwen, like they out here like running circles around these guys, man, for real. So, nah, you know, as long as you know what you're talking about, you know, you're getting educated and you're having a conversation with these drivers and they can tell that you know about your business, I don't see it being a handicap at all. And don't be intimidated. It comes off as a male industry, but it's just business at the end of the day. It's all numbers. Business is all numbers. Don't get intimidated. And those are some of my favorite clients as women, you know, because y'all can do anything that we can do, sometimes even better.
I love that. Errol.
Go back to my bad. I lost it.
Okay, you lost it. Questions? Tonda, again. Okay.
Only because I'm a little familiar. So when you say you recommend, you know, the trucks that you guys recommend, do you recommend that people get new trucks because they break down less, or do you recommend used trucks but maybe, you know, not as new?
Okay. I definitely don't recommend a brand new truck. A brand new truck right now is going to be it'll run you upwards of $120,000. There's no reason to get a brand new truck. We get trucks that are probably about 3 to 4, sometimes even 5 years old. But we just make sure that we're doing thorough inspections on these trucks because honestly, a used truck, that's a good used truck, is going to get you the same performance that a brand new truck is going to get you. So instead of spending $120,000, let's get the $50,000, $60,000 truck. That way we can make our money back a lot quicker. And we're just getting warranties. We're going to get the warranty that covers all the big expenses, right? As long as, you know, my clients know you're not buying a truck without a warranty. We're going to get a warranty that covers us for at least 3 years. It's going to cover all the major components, all the expensive parts, so that God forbid if it does break down, it's covered. And we try to get our investment back as soon as possible because once you get that investment back on your truck, now you're playing with house money. You feel what I'm saying? So definitely get a used truck. We're going to get it inspected properly through the dealership or independent mechanic. And we just making sure that we invested in that warranty, man.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Aaron.
What's the biggest setback or expense that your students usually deal with?
I mean, breakdowns. You know, I tell people all the time.
That's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, I
Breakdowns
tell people all
and
the
drop-
time, there's two things that's guaranteed in life. One is that one day we're not going to be here, and number two, your truck is going to break down. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Those are the two things that are guaranteed. So what my portal trains on is preventative maintenance, right? Ever since I implemented a certain schedule of maintenance with my trucks, my breakdowns have decreased by 35%. Little things that you can do, because I tell people all the time, small problems turn into what?
Big problems.
So a lot of times people like to take shortcuts. We like to put the Band-Aids on them. Nah, we're not taking no shortcuts. If we see a problem, get it fixed now. Because guess what? I would rather that problem, me pay to get it fixed here in Atlanta with my home mechanic, than get on the road with one of these crooked roadside assistant guys, and they're going to try to bust us over the head. So my goal is to have all my repairs done at my home base. Wherever you're located at, find you a mechanic that you can trust. And every time my trucks come through Atlanta, they pulling up to Steve. Steve got to put eyes on that truck for me. I don't care if it's a hose. If it look worn out, replace that hose. We putting extra oil in the truck, extra antifreeze, all the belts that come on my engine, I got an extra set in that truck. Light bulbs, fuses. Because guess what? It could be a little belt that can burst, 2 o'clock in the morning, now you stuck, you got to wait on roadside. Now a $20 belt that you could have had in that truck with a little tool, and he could have got out, fixed it real quick and got rolling. Now you just spent $800 because the tow company got a 2-hour minimum and they charge $200 an hour. Then they came to the truck, find out what was wrong. Then they had to go find the part. Like, it'd be little things that you can do to save money. And again, I always tell people all the time, if there was a handbook for all the mistakes, if there was a handbook for all the mistakes that you could make in trucking, I literally went through and did everything. So what you guys are paying me for is you're paying me for my mistakes, right? You guys are paying me to save time and not do the things that I did and what a lot of people do when they come into this industry. I did it all for y'all. I suffered for y'all already.
Wow. Wow. Goodness gracious. One more question. Yo, did you figure it out? No? Okay. You got something on the truck? You trying?
I mean, I just got a license to real estate, so I'm good now.
Oh, yeah, you killing real estate, but we going, never mind. All right, yo, so,
I need to collaborate on some parking lots for them trucks.
oh, for sure, parking lot, yeah. Is that an industry? Is that a thing? Parking lots for trucks?
Right now I pay $150 per truck per month at my lot. They got this big lot down there in Fairburn, Georgia, and it's probably about at least 250 trucks down there. So they definitely eating.
That's what they do.
For sure. There's so many
Can
ways.
you find us a lot, man? At least, golly, be useful, huh?
Yo,
Okay,
it's so
all
many.
right.
It's so
Let's
many
talk about that.
ways. It's so many avenues to make money in trucking. One thing that CJ told me, right? He was like, "Look, Alex, before you start jumping in, I know you got the money to invest in real estate and do all this." He said, "Look, diversify within your own industry first." Right? That's what he told me. So I've literally created 4 to 5 streams of income within trucking. So I have my fleet of trucks, right, that I've delegated, trained my cousins, trained my staff to run for me now. I have a dispatch service that when clients get up and running, they can either book loads on their own, because we do train them on how to do that, or they can give us the truck and we'll book the loads for them for a small percentage of it.
And you run the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, you don't run the whole thing.
I got a whole team of people that I've trained that actually book the loads for them. So they negotiate with the brokers, they get the information to the drivers, and they communicate and handle the operation side of things. That's my second stream of income, is the dispatch service.
So I can buy a truck and you take it over.
Our company can take it over. We have a dispatch department in my company.
You find the driver too?
That's a part of the portal. That shows you how to do all that. But we also have a partnership in the portal that actually places drivers in your truck for you.
Dang.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop. I created literally a one-stop shop of everything you need from A to Z in this industry, and it's something that has never been done before in the transportation industry.
Dang.
So that's the second that's the second stream of income, the dispatch service. My third source was the one-on-one consultations, and now my fourth source of income is this portal. So I've
Wow.
created 4 streams
Same
of income
industry.
in the same industry before I even stepped out into anything else.
Dang, this interview was fire. Give him a round of applause, please. So, Thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate it. I try to end every podcast the same way with predictions, okay? I want to know where you're going to be in the next 5, 10 years so that we can look back at this video and say, yo, I remember it was 2019, 5 years ago. Alex said he was going to do this, and he actually did it. What are the predictions of where you're going to be 5, 10 years from now?
5, 10 years from now, I will have all my businesses automated. I will be 100% passive, meaning that everything that I'm building right now will be able to operate without me having to be there. I'm probably going to max out at about 20 trucks. My goal was 10 trucks when I got in business. I hit my goal last year, hit my 10th truck.
Yes.
So now we're on the road to 20. I'm cool with 20.
When you get to 20, are you still going to say, you feel me? Like, yeah, I'm maxed out. 10 is all I need. He gets 11. He's like, I got 11. I'm off my number.
Yeah.
So we got to go to 20.
Yeah. This portal, man, again, we just did a soft launch, and we did $250,000 within the first 6 months. So I'm definitely,
I like that.
and it's so funny because CJ's like, look, this is just the beginning. You know what I mean? So I definitely want this portal to change lives nationwide. I want it to be the go-to. You can't get around it if you're trying to get into the transportation industry. This will be the #1 training portal for the transportation industry. Period. I want to have hundreds of trucks in my dispatch service. And I have a nonprofit as well. I have the Fill a Truck Foundation. We did 3 events. It's called Fill a Truck for Flint, where we sent bottles of water to Flint, Michigan for the water crisis. We've done it 3 times. Wow. ET joined me on the last one. It was amazing. You guys can see that. And we also sent 3 18-wheelers filled with products to Houston for Hurricane Harvey. So I just want my foundation to definitely keep doing great things and providing help and resources to places that need help.
Wow. It's so dope. It's so clear and specific, too. And I ask people what they're going to do next month. They like, oh, you feel me? So, but like he really understands exactly, and I'm sure this isn't like something he just came up with. He sees it like, okay, I'm gonna max out at 20, hundreds of. That's amazing, man. Yeah. That's amazing. So, any parting words you have for us?
Sacrifice, y'all. None of this I wouldn't be sitting here right now without sacrifice. As I mentioned earlier, that year in 2013 when I stayed in the house, that year when I stopped getting haircuts and I stopped partying and I locked in and did that research, without that year, nothing would have happened right now. It's not going to happen without that sacrifice. Seeds that were planted 4 or 5 years ago are finally starting to blossom right now. What you guys are looking at wasn't the overnight from last year. This was 5 years in the making. So all I can tell y'all is just start planting today. Start planting.
I love it. How do they follow you? How do you follow you on
Instagram, man. Instagram's been really good to me.
For sure.
Instagram's been really good to me, man. Definitely, again, went from 700 to 10,000 followers in a year. Organic followers. I just never wanted to buy followers. I wanted to be organic.
That's kind of corny.
Yeah.
Kinda corny.
I wanted people to follow me because they wanted to follow me. You know what I'm saying? So Instagram is Alix, ALIX _ Good Energy. Name of my company is Good Energy Worldwide. It's a lifestyle that I've transferred over to my business. I won't do business with you if the energy's not right. I don't want to be friends with you. Energy is important for me.
How many of us need to adopt that? Like, I don't even want to be friends with you. Your energy ain't right. I know we've been cool for 10 years, but your energy ain't right. How many people got some friends, they just, energy ain't right?
So it's Alix _ Good Energy on Instagram. My website is goodenergyworldwide.com. And you can go on there, book a truck. You can sign up for the dispatch service on there, and you can also get the information on the consultation on our digital training portal, man. And and I also want to leave y'all with one more thing too. Don't hope, decide. Yeah.
Explain that, please.
It sounds good to be like, I want to do this. I'm hoping to achieve this. When you decide, like, I have to do this. Like, there's no plan B. Decide intentionally what you want to do and go do it.
Man.
I don't hope anymore. I decide.
Man, Alix, I appreciate you coming through, man. Make sure y'all follow Alix Good Energy, and y'all gonna see me with a truck, all right? My brother, baby. All right, was that not phenomenal?
Yes,
Oh my
Appreciate that,
gosh. Oh my gosh, Alex, I appreciate it. I need a
No
truck.
problem.